Hi everyone, so today I have the new Spellbinders August 2022 Glimmer of the Month to share with you guys. It is the illustrated floral and solid, I believe is what it's called. So these items were sent free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links down in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. In the initial unboxing video, I showed you guys the Glimmer and all about it, and I had forgotten to grab the foil that comes with this month. It is the matte gold foil. Really pretty, whole roll of that. If you pick up like glimmers later, I know like on sale or like after they come out a few months from now or maybe further down the line, if it's not part of the club, like that initial month release, it doesn't come with the foil, okay? So just mentioning that because every month you do get a new foil, but if you just pick it up later on, it's just going to be the plates and the dies. But anyway, so just another value there on that. So this is gorgeous. So we have this foil plate. And again, it's hot foil. We're going to use the Glimmer machine today. I've used them before on the Crafter's Companion foil press, and they work. It's just you have to work it out. Sometimes it works great, and sometimes it's like, okay, maybe I want it to be on medium, and maybe I need to set it for a longer time or less time or whatever it is. You might have to play around with that a little bit. With the Glimmer, you just pop it on there, and it tells you when it's ready to go. And it's pretty much ready to go. So, you know, whatever you have, you can still, you know, try and mix and match your plates and stuff. It'll work out. It just takes some, I guess, some guesswork, right? But it'll do this beautiful floral pattern here, like the outline. And then there's a die to cut it out separately if you want to do that. There's also this solid die. Now, I have a few of these to try out for you guys. I think I have a circle and like a square shape. This is what comes in this month. It's just like a squoval, I call, because that's what we used to call shaped nails that are kind of oval but kind of square. A squoval, right? Or rounded here. So as you can see, it's flat here on the sides, but it is rounded. And it's just a really cool shape. So you have that. And what's going to happen with this is that if you have any foil left over from other projects, you can use this and it'll impress that extra foil with whatever is cut away from it, whatever's taken away from it, right, from the design previously used. So your scraps, and you can use it and it'll put that on your paper really nice and easily, but we're going to do that today, so it'll make more sense if you're not sure what I'm speaking of here. And then it has some sentiments sending happiness and thinking of you, and then of course the dies to cut those out, so that's really great. So right now I don't have an idea in mind as far as what we're going to put together. I just wanted to show you the idea of using, you know, your foil and then whatever's left over with this guy. Or you can just do a whole solid piece with this guy, like you just like that gold and you just want some kind of like oval background that you're going to build off of. You can do that too. But what I'm going to do right now is hit up the Glimmer. I'm going to grab some smooth paper so we can get started, and I'll be right back. So while this is heating up, I did grab the white and black papers from this month's card kit. I'm going to trim them down. So basically, the white paper, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy on there. And so I might cut it out, you know, and use it so I can keep it to, you know, relatively small area. But I do want enough foil that then I'm going to use this to foil the excess, right? So again, they're comparable in size, and you can do it, you know, this way, whatever's left over on your foil, or this way, or however. So basically I need a piece of foil that's about that big. So I'm going to open this guy up, and I'll be right back. And then with the Glimmer, all you have to do is turn it on in the back here, the on switch, and let it warm up, right? It'll light up green when the platform is ready. So right now it's just heating up. And so I'm just going to carefully cut down a piece of the foil. Oh, and you know what? Maybe the sentiment too. I just have some sentiments, so we'll probably do those too, but we'll do those separately. Somebody asked why I do things separately, or why don't I put more on the plate? That's actually the question. And sometimes for me it has to do with, like, it's going to take longer for this to heat up than a little piece like this to heat up, and if they're on the same plate, maybe you're going to get overfoiling because it's got too hot while this has just got hot enough, you know, or it comes off of this after you're running it through your machine and then it touches the next one but not well enough, so then you don't get a good foiling. So I just keep things separate if, you know, if they're totally different. Like these guys, I'll probably put them on the same plate but with some good space in between them and let those run through. But I wouldn't mix it with this and this. But if you want to do that, you know, go ahead. You can try it out. Of course, all this stuff, you know, try it out and see what happens there. So again, I'm just going to cut a piece that clearly is going to be big enough for this, but you also want enough left over that this is going to be able to cover that, you know. So let's say, like in here, without getting too much overfoiling, right? You also don't want the biggest piece of foil. And be careful with these guys, because like what I did right now when I moved it, it could have scratched the foil. If you get a scratch in your foil, then that piece of foil won't be there when you go to use it, right? Because it's got scratched off. So you want it to be nice and perfect like that. If you scratch this side, you'll definitely notice it later. So let's turn that over just to make sure that we have enough. That'll be good. And then this would be pushing down that. So I can get rid of some of this excess too. So I want to do that. Again, having too much foil can be a little bit problematic too, because it'll get on your paper possibly. So always cut down about what you want. And then I can use that for the sentiment. So you have that, and that'll be that. Yep, looks good. I mean, you can even cut away these excess pieces, but maybe we'll do that later, because this is going to get cut away anyway. Okay, so I'm waiting for that to warm up. And again, I just got this from the paper pack. Spellbinders does have paper that is specifically for foiling. You just want to use the smoothest paper that you have. That would be my suggestion. So again, this is from the card kit, so this is the Spellbinders paper. And for this one, since I don't care if it's where it actually foils, I'm just going to pop this on to the plate later. Usually I tape it down and then I pop this whole thing over, but we'll do it a different way. I'll say platform ready. Now if you wanted this to be in a certain spot, let's say you're making this a card front, then you can definitely tape it where you want, slide the little foil underneath. Right now I don't mind, I'm going to put it right in the center. Then it's going to be foil with the color facing down, with the silver side facing up, because what's going to happen is the plate is going to push the gold into your paper, so you want the gold over here. And sometimes I go ahead and put this cover on here and then I say to start, sorry, the platform's ready, or sometimes I just leave it like this. It's up to you what you think you want to do. Do you want to put these on here and let it warm up all together, or you put it on at the end? And I'm going to press timer so it knows that I want it to go, and once it stops blinking, then you know you're ready to go. So I'll be back at that timer. Just stopped blinking, and you know, people ask about how long it takes. I don't know, I'm a really bad judge of time, but I would say maybe a minute or less. I don't know. So I'm gonna take this over here again. If you put the plate on there and it heats up and then it's too much, then just know next time don't put the plate, right? But I'm gonna run that through, and I always like to run it through one way, holding on, making sure nothing's happening, and I run it back through the other way. Don't do that if that makes you nervous, because if your plate's skipped or jumped and then you ran it back through, it's quite possible that this will move on you. Very thin detail on that, you can see there. And so let's pick this up. So pretty. And that is pretty nice and clean. So I did find an eraser the other day. I told you guys I couldn't find an eraser to help clean this up, so we'll do that in just a minute. But I don't know if you can see this. I just like the smallest amount of overfoiling right here. All you gotta do is just do with an eraser. So we'll do that in just a minute, okay? Now let's remove this guy before I decide to just touch it. I will say this machine feels like it does get hotter than other machines, so that's good. That's probably part of the reason it works so well. And my rubber mat is somewhere else, so I'll just put this over here somewhere. Now, this is still going, that's fine. I'm probably not going to put this on top this next time. Well, maybe I will. I always say that, and I don't know, I just like putting that on top. Let me cut down a piece of black cardstock to be like a card topper. Now, if you have a pretty die that you want to do this with, because, you know, you want it to look exceptionally awesome, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just grab, let's see, sorry. Let's say this guy, my Fluted Classics rectangle. I'm going to run this through real quick just so I have this card front, and I'll be right back. Just run that guy through. Now I will say, if you want to do the foiling first and then run it through, that'd probably be good, because that way if it was a little bit crooked, you have some play, because your dies, you can lay your dies down the way they should be, right? Nice and straight, and then cut it out. At this point, I'm going to put this on here really nice and straight, hopefully, because I've already cut my paper. Let me move this to the side for just a second. So now, actually let me move this over so you guys can see what I'm gonna do. We have this here. So this is definitely our card front. So we definitely want this where we want it, right? So like, let's say that's where I want that to be. And I'm gonna use a little bit larger tape. And I'm gonna hinge it on this side. So what we're gonna do this time is we're gonna take our image And, you know, do you want it to be pushed down like that? Do you want more of it over here? That would be nice. So what I'm going to do is cut away. Oh, no. This is what's scary. If I cut some away and it's not what I want cut away, then now I just messed that up, because we want as much of this gold so that that piece will push it all down in there. So I just want to cut a little piece away. So just know, whatever you trim away, you're not going to be able to use right afterwards. You want this whole solid piece in there. So I'm going to move this back a little bit. See if that gets us where we want to be. And this is called the hinge method. Of course, you can do it whatever you like. I'm going to take a little bit more off. And you don't have to cut it down if you're scared. Just put tape over it once you're ready to go. Okay, so let's say there. That holds some of that. We need this whole thing in here though, so let me pick this up just a little bit more. We'll place it where we want that. That should do it. So, you know, quite a bit of this is off here. However you want to do it. That looks good. I'm going to put a little bit more tape here just to not have this move. And if you wanted to now, seeing what's there, is you can remove this excess. Again, it's just going to be there to possibly overfoil, so I like to get rid of it. And also you can still use this for a sentiment or something else, right? This little piece here. Okay, so now that we have this ready, I'm still going to take off some of this. We can bring this whole thing over and toss it over like this. And since we taped it, it shouldn't move. And now I can press timer, and again, cover it, don't cover it, that's your preference, you know, whatever it is. So this time I think I'll not cover it and just see what happens there. Basically the plate's still going to heat up, it's just this adds another level. So I will let that go until it stops blinking, and I'll be right back. Okay, again, not too long. And it says it's ready, so I'm going to pop this on here. Again, it's the two plates. This is the fiberglass plate plus just the plastic plate here. And I'm going to take this off of here and bring it to my Platinum 6. Of course, on the site it tells you under the Glimmer information what all kinds of machines the Glimmer will go through. I already did that once. I'm going to go back again. You know, I like to do that. Hopefully it didn't move on me. And I'll push this back in here because I still want to do my sentiments. And let's see what we got. But anyway, okay, let's put this here. Just trying to get that off. Sorry guys, I finally got that off there. But you know what? It's a little bit, I can tell that maybe it needs another little while. So what I'm going to do is, again, you want to use your smoothest paper. So what I'm going to do is let this cool off a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back, and I'm going to place this right back where it was. You can pretty much see where that was right there. And I'm going to tape it down again, and I'm going to let it go through one more time. Now, again, you need to use the smoothest paper you have, and I don't know that this is the smoothest paper, so that might have something to do with it. I can tell it's just not quite as crisp as I would like. So again, put it on here, plop that down, press timer, and you know what? Maybe I should be putting these on there. I tell you, I have the better luck whenever I leave these on here while it's all heating up. I didn't do it this last time, and I feel like it didn't quite get pushed in there as much as I would like with the heat. Okay, so I'm gonna let that go and then we'll check it out. I'm gonna run it through. It does say it's ready, and then I'll be right back. Okay, let's check it out. Oh, actually, I'm gonna pop this on here because I need to do some sentiments. I'm gonna let that go off over there. It's a little hot. Pop it over here, and let's see what we got. Yeah, I think it's just because it's not the smoothest paper. Look at that. Actually, it looks cool because it looks textured, but not quite what I was going for. So I'm going to do it one more time with a smoother piece of paper, and then I'll show you kind of what that's supposed to look like. I'll be right back. I'll set up again. I ran another one through. Again, just on white papers. I can use it later. Again, cut away all this good stuff. Alright, so I'm going to turn this over. You can see that was a scrap paper. I'm going to press timer, and I'm also going to put this on top because I just like doing that. Okay. So when this goes off, I'll run it through again. This is very interesting. I'm going to take this off very carefully. I can see where that plate is right there. Again, you don't want to let that shift too much. Okay, I'm going to run it. And I just like to run it right back through. It's taped. Okay. So let's keep that down here. Looking pretty good. You can see a little center area where maybe it didn't quite catch, but let's see. Again, the smoother the paper, the better. I mean, look how clear this is. And then also I left that plate on there, which is what I like to do, guys. When I'm letting it heat up, I like to have the plate on there. So you guys had seen, I mean, look at the paper is smoother. And I did put that plate on while it was heating up. Where on this one, the paper's a little more rough. It had a little tooth to it. Black paper just does. And I didn't do my little trick of heating up, and you can see how much is left over here that didn't want to stay on there. So, again, smoothest paper. This is just really light paper that I just felt it, and I was like, oh, that's smooth, and that's why I used it. So there it is. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with, of course, ooh, yeah, I should have taken this guy off of here. Just put that there. So we have these two guys. I'll probably still use that black one because, like I said, it looks a little, like, kind of cool, distressed. These guys. And then that little piece I cut earlier, or from wherever, just come in and I'm going to see about how much of this do I need. Actually, that's the second one I used. That one I can use for something else even. This is the first one that I cut. And it is small and ready to go. So all I have to do with these guys is just give them a cut. I have my paper ready. And I'm just going to put a little piece of tape on that so it doesn't move when I plop it over here, because I'm going to just take that. Since these are going to get cut out anyway, I'm just not super careful with these. Do the same thing with the other one. And wait for the light, you know, timer, wait for the light. And I am good to go. Just kind of put it towards the center though, so you have a place for your die to cut. Aye, aye. Okay, can't leave the other one waiting too long. The other one's already warming up, you know. So like I said, I give them a little space, timer, and I'll be back when those are all done. Okay, so we have sending happiness and thinking of you. Alright, I'm going to turn this off, I'll be back. So we have the two card bases. Again, may or may not use the other one. And I even have two of these little guys. So I'll just pick one, I guess this one. What I was talking about as far as overfoiling, let me get a little bit closer here, guys. It's gonna be super hard to see, but there's like the smallest little amount of foil right there, so you just take an eraser and just erase that away. And actually what's interesting is, because this is impressed, you know, the thing is kind of like a letterpress because it pushes, the die pushes in, or the plate, you can just go over it and kind of keep your eraser flat and it'll just take off the foil from that raised area, so you don't have to be like super careful. Even if you just go like this, it'll take it off from where you want and leave what you want to leave. Now, I'm going to take a moment to do something else with this one. I really wasn't planning that initially for the black one, so we'll see how it goes. I thought it'd be nice with the black and white and then like the gold with some color. So all I'm going to do is take like a surface here. Let's see. And I guess this side. And grab some water markers and just do that. Grab a water brush. Now this is just the paper from, again, the Spellbinders craft kit, so, or card kit. So I'm just lightly going to do this because it's not really meant for watercoloring or anything like that, so I'm not doing too much. If you want to come in with an accent color, of course you can do that. I'm not even squeezing this water brush, just whatever water that's on there, I'm letting it be. And maybe a different color like this dark green one for some of the different flowers. You can change it up. That one's more like a teal green. And let me get something to wipe this off on. And then some more of the green. So I'm just going to come in and just add a little bit of color. The foiling, of course, helps be your guide. I know it's hard to see, guys. And let me do one more just to finish off that green there. This guy. And let's say we have some kind of pink flower. I don't know. Let me see how pink this is. That one's very light. But not bad. Okay, so we're just going to grab some color and add that in. I know it looks very light on camera, guys, sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to continue coloring everything in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you see, there you go. So I'm going to let that dry just a little bit longer, but basically on both of them we're going to do the same thing. Just take the dye and line that up and cut that out. So let's have that there. Whenever you tape things like this down when you have foiling, be careful to not really touch the foil. Try to just tape the dye itself, because you can take that foiling right up if you end up touching it. Okay, I'll run that through. Same thing for my sentiments, just eyeball through them and run them all through. So I grabbed 2 card bases from the card kit. So one of them is going to be like this. And the whole point of this is obviously that's very pretty and you pretty much want to showcase that. So I think what I'm going to do is just stick that down. We'll see, because we can play with this a little bit. So let me get some glue all around the sides of this. I'll be right back. Okay. And I'm going to line it up on the side there. Put a little bit in the center. Okay, so we have that. And then, you know, we have our sentiments. We have thinking of you. We have sending happiness. So we can put either one of those, or we can put both of them. And then this one, again, I wasn't sure I was going to use it or not. But my initial idea was I was going to color this in, is what I was thinking about. So let's see what that looks like. Oh my gosh, you guys. How pretty. And I was thinking about using it anyway. What if we do that? So it's rustic, and then we have this prettiness. Let me put some tape on the back of that and I'll glue this down. You know what, I'm going to stick it down this way. And I always orient my cards, it seems like portrait mode, but of course you can do landscape. And I mean, you can do it like that, right? Well, I turn it this other way because I'm thinking I'm going to pop this up right here on some dimensionals, and then I'll put my sentiment. And we have that background. It's a little bit rustic, a little fun, and still useful. So that's good. Okay, so I'm going to get some dimensionals on this. And maybe on one of the sentiments here for this card, and I'll be right back. Tag teaming cards here. I wasn't planning on that. This guy I'm going to put like in here. Why not? Yeah. And then we can have the sending happiness like in here. And I don't know that I'm going to put it flat. I think what I'm going to do is look for a lower profile sticky than what's the one I used previously. So this one seems to be a little lower, where this one's a little bit thicker, and I think this will work. Just to finish that guy up. Let me trim a little bit of that away. A little too much on that. Okay. Now we still have some dimension. Pretty, pretty. Okay, and on this one, again, just super simple. I already have a dimensional on this guy with the thinking of you. Maybe a little further in. Okay, and I'll finish this off with some little gems or pearls or something like that, just to give a little more sparkle, a little something more. But a really quick note card, right? If you were to do those and just have note cards ready to go. And if you want just note cards, you can flatten that out. Again, I mean, I could have paired it up with this guy too. And I don't know if you've noticed, these flowers echo the stamp of the month. So really cute. Same kind of flowers, same kind of little sprigs. You can bring some of those in and mix and match them up that way. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully that gave you some little info. Again, I always like to cover my foil plates while they're heating up and then run them through. I don't think that was the issue with this. It's just that the paper has tooth, and black paper definitely has tooth to it. So you can, so yeah, if you go and touch all the black papers you have in your stash, they pretty much have a little tooth to them. So find like a very, very smooth one. It would be best for this application. But okay, guys, I'll have the links in the description box. I'll have some images coming up. And again, things like this, if you cut them nice and perfectly, you know, you have all these little foil leftovers, get that plate, you would just put some paper, put the foil, put the guy, run it through, and now you're going to have a piece of on your paper that's just like this. It's going to be the exact same shape as this because that's what you have. And you can trim it down then, or you can trim it down first and then make it nice and perfect so when you run it through it's just ready to be cut out. So then you'll have a sentiment that has gold all around it, and then you see the whatever color paper you use coming through the lettering, you know. So these guys I have been keeping, but now I made this box the other day, so I've been keeping all these things in this box. So I just put all my little extra bits and stuff. Sometimes they're big enough I put them back in with the roll, but like all those little things, even if something small like this, if you have a sentiment, you can use it. So might as well keep all those little bits. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.